Lincoln didn't sign the Emancipation Proclamation out of some bleeding heart desire to end the institution of slavery. Many of my resources back up that claim.
I'm not denying that claim. I'm saying there are loopholes in your overall analysis of the so-called modern-day plantation in the workforce and its parallel to slavery during the time of the Civil War.
The themes of this play and the themes that we are seeing play out in real time, in real life, it feels like something that's within my reach and it's accessible in terms of being able to do something about it.
This is some modern-day peculiar institution type.
Malik.
Excuse me.
I am not one of these people like, oh, not another slavery story. I'm not that person. I am one of those people that are like, what else to the slavery story? Because like, I'm not gonna believe that we were just sitting and suffering and not agents of our own freedom.
Hold me one of them muskets and see what I could do.
Damn it, I told you don't touch it.
Just wanna see how it feels. Real mighty. Like I could gather me a bunch of kinfolk and walk right off the plane.
You gonna hurt
Dominique, how did you come up with the idea for Confederates? Why have the time travel aspect?
I want to make sure that it's not just sitting in the moment of enslavement, that I juxtapose it to the moment of now. Ultimately, I decided to set it at two institutions. The peculiar institution of slavery and the educational institution of higher learning. That has roots in the peculiar institution. Let's not be subtle. Let's be real in your face about it, and let's be really overt about what has and has not changed between the past and the present.
And I'm just another tolerant Negro professor that's absorbed in the system of institutional racism. That's what you're saying in those distinctions.
I always have this moment right before the opening where I think about what Sandra's experience is going to be throughout the show or the scenes or what her day in this institution is going to be like. It's almost a physicalization of what often Black women are dealing with in this country and in this world.
You know, as being in a Black woman's skin all my life, I know what kind of stuff comes at me in my real life, so it's the same kind of stuff that's gonna come in my plays that center Black women, and especially this kind of play. It's quite radical. I think it's my most radical play. It defies genre, so it's like, is this a comedy? Is this a tragedy? What is this? It's all and none.
If we really want to get real, let's get all the way real.
What attracted you to be a part of Confederates?
Knowing that they were doing a Dominique script, that was enough for me. But then when I read it, something innate just sort of opened up for me.
There are people in our lives that when they ask, you say yes, because you trust their integrity, you trust their mission, and Dominique is that person.
Goldie, I couldn't have asked for a better director, especially because of her relationship with the play.
Yeah.
And she knows it so well. She was around when it was being developed.
She was extraordinary. She was absolutely extraordinary. She created a culture in the rehearsal room of support, of creativity, of play.
I am a professor, so we were having class, we were having lecture in our first week of rehearsal. And my cast is brilliant in the ways that they not only took the information that we came into the process with, but then they did their own individual research. And they were coming back with ideas and they were coming back with realities about these people. It's a lot of real history that's in our process. And even though we don't name it on stage, it's the anchor for all that you see on stage.
Down to who these character archetypes could be, who they were based on, some people, historical figures that have similar circumstances.
I want freedom by my own deliverance. I don't want no blood on my hands.
I really was interested in how slavery is portrayed and why I was so adverse to watching movies and plays about slavery. Why don't I want to go to the theater to see a slave play? So that was kind of like my research, or like what rubbed me the wrong way about those and what makes this story for me different. What's different about this play is that Sarah is on her journey to freedom. She's gonna get free.
Hear, O Israel, You are approaching the battle against your enemies today.
Whitney and Rebecca, did you guys bring your personal experiences as a Black woman to your roles?
Yeah. Yeah, it was there. Thank goodness that I'm not in Whitney's shoes. Because for me, I'm like, I don't know what it's like to be a slave. I don't have to have like this impression of what I have to be. I can just be a Black woman in these circumstances. Versus like, I look over in 2018 and I'm like, that is so close to my reality. I don't want none of that.
It's real.
Because I went to an undergraduate program and a master's program. I spent a lot of time in institutions as one of the only Black women, or there were 3 of us and we were all pitted up against each other. And I still have like about that. Mm-hmm. So I would just like watch y'all from a distance and be like, thank goodness I am in the 1800s. Thank goodness, thank goodness, thank goodness.
This play looks at 2 different kinds of violences: macroaggression and microaggression. So in the past, there is a macroaggression of like, somebody's gonna burn a cross on your lawn. They're gonna grab you and hang you by a tree. That's a macroaggression. It moves fast and it's overt. And in the present, there are 100 little microaggressions, like death by 1,000 cuts, you know?
You think as a Black woman professor, I have it easier than Black men? Is that your
The
implication?
demographic of my professors is a fact.
The message lands in such a direct way that leaves you questioning what your participation is in the institution. But not only that, though, they're gonna laugh.
They
are going to laugh. We talk about some really deeply felt things and some serious subject matters thematically, but there is so much levity at the same time.
You're gonna take away something. Unless your ears are not here, your eyes are not here, your body is not here, you're gonna leave with something. I know you will.
We, in this process, the process is freeing. When you are doing a play about liberation, my goal is for us all to be liberated in process. And so the commitment is not to the applause or the laughs. The commitment is to the transformation.
Watch One Detroit, Thursday at 7:30 p.m.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.